Making this video on Anglo-Afghan relations, and it's a very interesting topic for all your competitive exams. And some people you'll hear they will say that this topics is not important. These topics like Burmese war, Nepalese war, or Afghanis war. These are not important because they say question will not come. Point is not that if question will come or it will not come. It will help you in basic understanding how thing works, okay, how things work. And I'll use a language of Hindi and English mix. And of course, why we have to learn these things, because you can always correlate with what happened in past with what is happening in present and what will happen in future. So it will give you a line of thought. Okay, so we are going to read today about the first Anglo-Afghan war, which generally, it is 1839 to 1842. And we will say that we will also see that what were the important factors that gave rise to this war. Okay, so first of all, so I've also written the top some description about what we're going to read. You have to understand that geographical location, okay, of Afghanistan, and this is we are talking in 19th century. Okay, so even today, the geographical location has not changed, but of course, there are changes in the map of Russia and of course in India also. We have now Pakistan in between. So at that time, on the north, it was Russia. Okay. To the south of it was the region of Afghanistan. And of course, to this part, you had, let us say over here, you had the British India. And this was a expansionary power. Okay, and this was also the expansionary power. Okay, so both of them are the expansionary power. दोनों ही अपने एरिया ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस को इंपीरियल एरिया को बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, इसलिए 19th सेंचुरी में बहुत ज्यादा एक दूसरे को शक की निगाह से देखते थे, एप्रीहेंशंस होते थे कि हो सकता है रशिया इस अफगानिस्तान पे कब्जा कर ले या इसको अपनी तरफ टिल्ट कर ले या अपना फ्रेंडली रूलर इस पे बिठा देगा, तो हमें नुकसान हो सकता है क्योंकि अफगानिस्तान को एक स्प्रिंग बोर्ड की तरह यूज करा जा सकता है टू अटैक द ब्रिटिश इंडिया. सिमिलरली रशिया को होता था कि ब्रिटेन इसको अपना फ्रेंडली रूलर बिठा लेगा या फिर ये ब्रिटेन नॉर्थवर्ड मूव करेगा टुवर्ड्स द रशिया. एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर, फ्रांस. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वी नो Napoleon. So, of course, Napoleon wanted to eliminate the British Empire on the face of the earth. And there were apprehensions again in the 19th century, early 19th century, that Napoleon will, have treaty with Russia and both will attack the British India through the land route. And of course, when they have to come from the land route, Afghanistan is the main ground which were seen that कि यहाँ पे दोनों आर्मी आके मिलेंगी, so हमें अफगानिस्तान को अपने कंट्रोल में ले लेना चाहिए. हम जो अपने क्लास को शुरू करेंगे, करने को मैं अर्ली 19th सेंचुरी से भी कर सकता था, 1809 से 18010 से, बट इतना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है शुरुआत में. मेन जो चीज शुरू होती है अफगानिस्तान का जो कॉन्कर शुरू होता है बाय ब्रिटिश इंडिया, दैट हैपेंस व्हेन 1836. Please remember this thing. 1836, we have Auckland, who is now the Governor General of India. This Mr. Auckland said that, we should do something about this situation. Or maybe he was told by his masters that go and control the situation of the frontiers of India. Russia can invade India. Okay, so he came with a policy of forward policy. Forward policy, very important policy of Auckland. What forward policy says, it says that two approach can be taken. So first approach and second approach. Two approach we can take. First is that we should have a friendly ruler in Afghanistan. Now, what do you mean by friendly ruler in Afghanistan? Of course, that should be tilted towards Britain. That should listen to Britain. What are the insecurities of Britain? He should understand that. And he should act in a manner that is profitable to the Britain, not to the Russia. Second is you take over Afghanistan. You take over Afghanistan. You go there, you fight with Afghans, and you take over there. And of course, taking over and have a puppet king. Puppet king. But as you know, this is less expensive affair. Less expensive. You have to send your envoy there. You'll talk to the current king or the shah of Afghanistan. And this is more expensive because you have to keep do battle. You have to move the troops. A lot of finance expense will be there. And of course, war है तो जान तो जाएगी. तो आदमी का भी नुकसान ब्रिटेन को उठाना पड़ेगा. सो प्रेफरेंस यही है कि एक फ्रेंडली रूलर हम जो हमारा बन जाए तो उससे बात करते हैं. तो इसी के चलते हुए जो आमिर आमिर मतलब वहां का रूलर अफगानिस्तान का वो था उस समय. इसको बोलते थे दोस्त मोहम्मद. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. रिमेंबर दिस नेम, दोस्त मोहम्मद. सो ऑकलैंड ने दोस्त मोहम्मद को एक प्रपोजल भेजा कि लेट्स डू अ फ्रेंडशिप ट्रीटी, लेट्स बी फ्रेंड्स. ओके. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इंटरेस्ट तो था ही ब्रिटिश का. तो दोस्त मोहम्मद सेड दैट ओके, you help me getting Peshawar, sorry for the spelling, Peshawar from Sikh. You help me getting Peshawar from the Sikh. एंड मेरा पेशावर ले लिया इन्होंने. लोकेशन है आज भी पाकिस्तान में है पेशावर. एंड ये ले लिया है और ये मुझे वापस दिला दो. एंड आई डू द फ्रेंडशिप ट्रीटी विद यू, विल बी फ्रेंड्स. बट ऑकलैंड at that time says that you know what, we have a friendship treaty with Punjab. And then Punjab was under the great Ranjit Singh, or I should say Maharaja Ranjit Singh Maharaja. So Auckland says that uh, this Peshawar thing is not possible. And of course he offered पैसा ले ले यार to Dost Mohammed. Dost Mohammed said no, Peshawar lollipop is required. I only need Peshawar. You give me Peshawar, you do friendship with me, I'll take care of that. And Auckland says no यार, ये lollipop तुम्हें नहीं दे सकते because this is with Sikh and we are friends with them. And the Maharaja was great person. I mean, his army is massive, trained, modernized army. So we can't take panga with this is a very different affair what you're talking about. We can't do this. So what happened is that Dost Muhammad, he started to tilt. Dost Muhammad, he started to tilt towards Russia for the same purpose. And this was, not acceptable to Auckland, okay? Auckland says, yeah, this is not acceptable. Then he did some research. He said that, okay, now listen, this first thing did not work out. Dost Muhammad is not listening. Now there is just second affair that you take over Afghanistan and put there a puppet ruler. So he did very important 1838, which is known as your tri-party treaty. Okay, so this is like three party involved in this. So this is also known as tripartite treaty, in which you have three parties. One you took Sikh, second of course Auckland himself, or I should say British, and third is Shah Shuja. Now, who is this Shah Shuja? Shah Shuja was earlier the Shah of or Amir of Afghanistan, who was expelled in 1809, and he was living in Ludhiana as a pensioner. Okay, so he was there as a pensioner in Ludhiana. So they signed, all of them signed a treaty of 1838. And of course, this treaty has to make everyone happy. So now, दिमाग देखो, बनिया बुद्धि ब्रिटिश की कि भाई पपेट रूलर चाहिए, फ्रेंडली होना चाहिए। तो शाह शुजा को बोला कि भाई शाह शुजा, वी विल एंथ्रोन यू द शाह ऑफ अफगानिस्तान, तुझे मिलेगा अफगानिस्तान। एंड ब्रिटिश का तो काम सॉल्व हो ही रहा है, क्योंकि फ्रेंडली रूलर है भाई, हम बिठाएंगे तो हमारी बात सुनेगा। बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस सिख? What this told to Sikh at that time kingdom? He said that, we know that you have dispute with Afghanistan over some overlapping claims you have. See, जब भी दो नेशंस की बाउंड्री टच होती है, हमेशा ओवरलैपिंग क्लेम्स होते हैं। ये इतिहास में था, आज भी है, फ्यूचर में भी रहेगा। You see India and Pakistan overlapping claims. You see India and China overlapping claims. You see India and Bangladesh, although sorted to much extent, overlapping claims. इंडिया एंड नेपाल अभी रिसेंटली चल रहा है, ओवरलैपिंग क्लेम्स। तो ये चलता रहता है कि जब भी बाउंड्री टच होगी, ओवरलैपिंग क्लेम्स। और ये गली मोहल्लों में भी होता है सर। अगर आप मोहल्ले में रहते हैं तो आपको पता होगा, मकान की अगर छतें जुड़ती बड़ी दिक्कत होती है भाई, कि ये हिस्सा तेरा है, वो हिस्सा मेरा है। ये चलता रहता है। तो यहां पे सिखों को बोला गया, या सिख किंगडम को बोला गया कि यू हैव सम क्लेम्स ऑन द राइट साइड ऑफ इंडस, राइट साइड ऑफ इंडस, जिसको अफगानिस्तान भी अपना हम बोलता है, तुम भी अपना बोलते हो। एंड इफ यूल हेल्प अस, यू विल गेट दिस टेरिटरी। शाह शुजा को बोला कि दे देगा। शाह शुजा, अबे सर ले लेना, मुझे बना दो आप शाह, ले लेना ये टेरिटरी, मुझे मतलब नहीं है इनसे। तो सिखों को इसलिए साइड किया गया, अपनी साइड ले लिया गया इस बात को लेके। एंड एक बहुत क्लासी गेम खेल गए यहाँ पे ब्रिटिश। उन्होंने शाह को बोला कि भाई, ये छोटा बच्चा सिंध रहता है नीचे, यू विल मेक देम इंडिपेंडेंट। दैट मीन्स अफगानिस्तान का क्लेम होता था इनके ऊपर, मतलब अफगानिस्तान वाज सोवरेन ऑफ सिंध। So will make them independent in the sense that you will remove your sovereignty from the Sindh. Okay, so removal of sovereignty. अच्छा, सिख को करना क्या होगा बदले में? अरे फोर्स देनी होगी सर, ठीक है, दे हैव टू हेल्प देम, ठीक है, आर्मी हेल्प बाय द सिख। एंड विद दिस इन 1839 this British army entered Kabul. Now this portion is very important. It is as important as the third battle of Panipat, in which the Marathas lost to Ahmad Shah Durrani or Abdali. Very important. I mean, these things, no, they have turned the direction of history in such a manner that the repercussions are even felt today. So this happened in 1839, but I can tell you that the repercussions we are facing even today, the world problem, I'm discussing a very great problem in front of you. So British army entered in Kabul. Very easily they entered, sir. They entered in Kabul and they beat Dost Mohammad. They beat Dost Mohammad. He surrendered. He surrendered. And of course, Shah Shuja was made the Shah or the Amir as per the plan. So plan is going very smooth. No problem. But what happened that this Dost Muhammad, and this is how it is connected to today. He gave the call for jihad. Call for jihad, sir. Against whom? Against the British, the Kafir, the Christian, or the Sikh army. Whosoever they are supporting, sir. And Dost Muhammad gave the call for the jihad. That the Shah Shuja, he is ruling because of the Kafir. because of these non-believers, and we should eliminate them. And when this call of jihad came, and this is what happened today also, this radical mind, all the tribes of Afghanistan, they got united and they leashed such violence that it is said that there were 20,000 men who died. English, of course, all these are like, I don't know whether they were English or some Indian also, in Sikh also. But 20,000 men dead. And what I remember that it was, just wait for a second, I'll tell you the person who also went there. Yes, name of the person I have with me. Mm, just give me a moment. Might be Elphinstone who was leading this expedition. I'm not sure. You should check it. You should check it. It might be Elphinstone. I'm writing the name, but you should check it. I'm not sure again. They requested the Afghans, those Mohammed, let us go. Don't kill us. And then those Muhammad and the Afghans said, okay, you go, but leave your arms. Don't take your arms with yourself. You go to India. Go back to India. Along the complete British kafila, I can say. And in midst, when they were going back, they were attacked by the Afghans very badly, sir. I guess just one person, he returned back to India. So it was very sad day for British. Very sad day. Okay, so the rest story is that in 1842, then the British, they did a treaty with Afghanistan. Okay, so they did a treaty with Afghanistan, which cited that you are independent. Okay, but they had lost 1.5 crore rupees and of course 20,000 men. Thank you. We will read the further policy which was adopted by the British and the second Anglo Afghan war in the next session. Thank you.